Are you ready to do this? I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. Hello, welcome back to another video, and if you're new here, thank you so much for joining me. My name is Paulina, and in today's video, as you can tell by the title, I will be talking about meditation and some tips and tricks I have for you to get started on your practice. But just a little overview of what to expect. I will be explaining what meditation is. I will explain why you should care in the first place, or why you should start a practice. And at the end of the video, I will give you my personal tips and tricks on how to get started in a meditation practice, because we know it's not that easy to get started. I have my notebook here. I wrote down some notes for you guys, for you, my viewer. Let's dive right into it. So what is meditation? I guess in the simplest terms that I can put it, meditation is a mental exercise or technique that allows you to practice awareness and relaxation in order to achieve mental clarity and an emotional and mental balance. So why would you want that? Why should you care? Why should you start a meditation practice? Well, honestly, the benefits are endless. They're completely backed by science, and I feel like meditation is a wonderful way to practice self-care. If you feel like you need a little tender loving care aimed towards yourself, like meditation is a great way to start. I think a lot of people practice self-care by like doing exercise and, you know, face masks and baths and all that, but I think we live in a culture that doesn't teach us to take care of our mind, and that is why so many people suffer from mental illness. But meditation can definitely help reduce the stresses that come from having a mental illness, which leads me to my first benefit. Meditation is known to reduce stress. So when you meditate, you're learning to relax your body, and it reduces your stress mentally and physically. And we know that stress is known to lead to other diseases like illnesses like depression, anxiety, high blood pressure, fatigue. It can cloud your judgment. You may not think clearly, but with meditation, you're able to, you know, like really be aware of who you are. And by doing that, you'll significantly reduce your stress. So comes to my number 2. With less stress comes less anxiety. You reduce the symptoms that are caused by anxiety disorders like social anxiety, phobias, OCD, panic attacks, just anxiety in general, right? Which leads me to the third one. Less anxiety, less stress. You're less likely to go through depression or be diagnosed with depression. Because meditation promotes emotional health. When you're experiencing less of these symptoms that cause these illnesses, you have a more positive outlook on life, and you become more optimistic, and in hand, you become emotionally balanced. Number 4. At number 4, it enhances your self-awareness. You're able to develop a better understanding of yourself, and I think this is important because you can begin to learn how to recognize thoughts that are destructive, thoughts that are harmful, negative, and once you can recognize what these thoughts are, you can also start to be aware of what causes them, when they come, and when you know these things, it might encourage you, it might inspire you to start making changes that will steer you away from these thoughts, right? Because it is our instinct to want to be happy, so obviously we don't want to feed these negative thoughts. We change our life, we change our thoughts. Number 5, it lengthens your attention span. Yeah, I said it. I think this is a good one, especially in our day and age, because we constantly have things asking for our attention, right? We have a bunch of social media apps, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter. We have all these news apps that are constantly sending us articles. We have our favorite sports apps sending us notifications from our favorite teams. So basically everything's constantly asking for our attention, and I think it's become harder for people in our generation to be able to focus on one thing. Meditation is for the mind what exercise is for the body. So obviously the more you exercise, hi Babush. Obviously the more you exercise your body, the stronger it'll be, the more endurance you'll have better stamina, and the same goes for your mind. It can also reduce memory loss. So of course, by continuously strengthening your mind, you're exercising it, right? So it'll be healthier for a prolonged period of time, hopefully into old age. And there's been multiple studies done with, my cat's like right behind the camera. There's been multiple studies done with older volunteers where they meditate, and they meditate, and then there's a control group who doesn't meditate, and those who always meditate, you're so cute, Babush. Those who always meditate do significantly better at increasing their attention span, their memory, and they have mental quickness. Okay, so number 7. I like this one. This one's a really cool one. Meditation has been proven to generate kindness. And like I said earlier, meditation is one of the ultimate acts of self-care and self-love, because by setting this time aside to meditate, you're basically telling yourself like, I love you, you matter, and I am going to take care of you. And like that is the nicest thing that you can do for yourself. Like, make time for yourself, do something that is gonna benefit you in many ways, is the ultimate act of self-love. Through meditation, you begin to develop this like deep self-love, and obviously you care for yourself if you're showing up every day and doing the exercises. And generally, people tend to extend this kindness and this compassion that they have for themselves to others, which I think is really cool and probably one of the best benefits, because kindness is needed desperately in this world. The next one, it may help fight addictions. So with meditation, you learn to redirect your thoughts. It increases your willpower. You can control your emotions and your impulses. It increases your awareness and understanding of what's causing these addictive behaviors. Number 9, it improves sleep. So when you're learning with all the things that you learned from meditation, I don't know why I'm swinging. You learn to redirect thoughts, and you're able to control those late night thoughts that are keeping you up, that are giving you insomnia. You're able to better control them. You're able to quiet them, because through meditation, that's pretty much what you're doing. You're quieting the mind. And in hand, this helps you relax your body, release any tension, and obviously it'll put you in a peaceful state. And my last benefit of meditation is that you can do it anywhere. You don't need any special equipment. It doesn't require a specific space. You just need you and your beautiful mind. That's it. So now I will be giving you my tips and tricks on meditation, because I'm not gonna front, meditation is hard. It takes practice to learn how to quiet the mind, especially if you're a beginner. Think of how hard it would be to get into the gym if you've never exercised before. You would feel out of place, you would be uncomfortable, it would feel a little weird for you. But just like with anything, as long as you practice, it'll continue to get better. And it's the same with meditation. So my first tip is to find a comfortable, quiet spot and to try to meditate around the same time every day. I personally like to meditate either in the mornings or in the afternoons. I don't like to meditate at night. I don't know, maybe the darkness just like puts me to sleep or something, but I like to meditate while the sun is up. But yeah, you want to find a spot that is going to be free of distractions, one you feel comfortable in, and you want to be sitting in an upright position. May that be a chair, a yoga mat, sitting with your legs crossed. You can even lay on your back, but I don't recommend doing it in your bed, because I feel like we associate our bed with sleep, and then you'll end up getting sleepy and not continuing and end up falling asleep throughout your meditation practice. I personally like to sit on my yoga mat on the ground, so I feel like I'm deeply rooted to the ground, and I use a little pillow on my tailbone for support so that it can help me lift, especially now that I'm pregnant. I have a big belly and I'm not as flexible. I don't feel as flexible, so I need a little extra support to lengthen my spine and so I can sit comfortably. My second tip is not to set a timed goal. I know a lot of people will tell themselves like, oh, I'm gonna do 5 minutes today, I'm gonna do 10 minutes today, 15, 20, and then you try to increase it the better you get, right? But the reason why I don't set a timed goal is because I noticed that when I set a timed goal, I become anxious. Like, when is a time gonna go off? And I become focused on that instead of being focused on quieting the mind. And that way, if you don't set a timed goal, that's not even a worry, that's not a concern, it's not gonna go through your mind. But what I do is I do log the time of when I started, and then I let my meditation run its course, and then when I'm done, I just look at the time and I log how long I was able to meditate for. I notice that the more I do it, the longer I'm able to go, which is what you want, right? You want to increase your mental strength. Okay, now the actual practice of meditation. Start by focusing on your outer world. So become aware of the sounds around you. Maybe your AC's on, your refrigerator's running, maybe you can hear your dog in the other room running around. Can you hear anything from outside? Oh, I hope you guys didn't see that. I just spit all over my paper. Can you hear anything outside? Are there cars passing by? Just start to be aware of your surroundings. How does the air feel on your skin when you inhale it? Is it cold? Is it warm? Does it smell good? Does it smell bad? Just things like that. Start focusing on your outer surroundings. And then we can move on to start noticing our breath. Excuse me, sir. I'm gonna put you right over there. So you want to take deep breaths. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. And that's it. It's a really simple practice. Just observe your breath. Focus on how it feels when it's filling your lungs, how your stomach contracts when you're exhaling. Notice how your ribs are rising and falling, your shoulders are rising and falling. Try to take deeper breaths, and then when you feel comfortable with your mind being a little more quiet than it was before, you can start to move on to your body. You basically you focus and you scan each part of your body. Start with your toes, your feet. Do you feel any tingles? Can you feel the floor beneath you? Are your feet touching anything? Then you move on to your ankles. Can you feel any energy? Your calves, your knees, your butt. Like you may be sitting on something. Try to focus on how it feels to be sitting on that thing. Your spine, your back, is it supported? Is it getting tired because you're sitting up? Any little thing, start to focus. Maybe your hands. I usually like to place them on my knees. I start to focus on how they feel. What are you doing, Papas? Yeah, just a little scan checklist. Make sure you got everything off the list, and that is how you can learn how to quiet your mind, because you're focused on other things that are increasing your awareness, so you don't have time to start thinking of other things. But thoughts are gonna pop up. It's inevitable, especially if you're a beginner. But the key is to not get upset. The key is to observe what these thoughts are and gently push them away. A way that I like to do this when I'm meditating, if I notice that a thought is popping up, I like to mentally picture myself like wrapping that thought with like a little bag, sealing it with a ribbon, and then just floating it away like a cloud. Or Sometimes I picture myself, to try to quiet the mind, I picture myself like by a river on a dock, and I have a bunch of little boats lined up, and when a thought comes up, I just put that thought in a bag, put it on the little boat, and send it down the river. And then there you go, the thought's just flowing away, and I'm not upset. I'm just noticing that that thought came. I grabbed it, gently pushed it away. Once you've examined and focused on your outer surroundings and your inner space, you can start creating what is called the quiet place. And the quiet place is different for everybody. It can be a fantasy place or it can be a real place. It's completely up to you. You just have to make sure that it's somewhere where you feel comfortable, somewhere where you feel safe, peaceful, relaxed. And when you create this place, it'll be easier for your mind to quiet once you can picture yourself in this place. And you want to be as descriptive as possible. Is the sun shining, or is it cloudy? Is it windy? Are you indoors? Are you outdoors? What's around you? You want to be as descriptive as possible when it comes to your quiet place, because by being descriptive, you're increasing that awareness of your surroundings, even though it's just in your mind. And by doing this, you're also learning to quiet the mind. So, still breathing, still relaxing. You want to stay in your quiet place for as long as you can, and just notice how it makes you feel. It should make you feel happy. It should make you feel relaxed. It should make you feel peaceful. And this should be a place that you can go to whenever you just want to let go and relax the day's stress, the day's tensions, the day's problems. And when you feel ready, take that awareness back into your body. Gently begin to wiggle your hands, your toes, flutter the eyes open. Always end your practice by giving a meaningful thanks to yourself, because you made that time for you, and making the time for your well-being is extremely important, and you should give yourself a pat on the back for doing that. So there you have it, guys. Those are my tips and tricks on developing a consistent meditation practice. The mind is an incredible thing that is always working and never turns off. From the moment we were born till the day that we die, our mind is going to continue to loop. And unless we take time to rest, then we might end up driving ourselves crazy. Just kidding. But I think it is vital for our mental health and our well-being that we allow our mind to rest, and doing so daily. So I hope this video helped you in one way or another. And if you take any of my suggestions, I would love to hear about it. Let me know how they worked out for you. And if you have any suggestions for me, please do not hesitate to share. I'm not an expert at meditation. I just began my practice. I've dabbled with meditation for the past few years of my life, but I'm definitely no expert. I recently just started incorporating it every single day, and I feel great. But I know that there's still a lot to learn. So once again, thank you so much for being here. If you like this video, make sure you give me a thumbs up, and please consider subscribing to my channel, and I will see y'all in the next one.